Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to monitor the ticket prices for the national championship game and some options you have. A lot of you are watching and considering buying a ticket for the national championship game. You're wondering what's the best way to get tickets for this year's national championship. Games in New Orleans at the Superdome. Tickets can be competitive to get with steep prices, especially with so many LSU fans in the area. I'm here to tell you, just take a deep breath and relax. Now, I've been in this situation a few times and I know it's stressful. You really want to go, but the prices seem unattainable. Well, there are a few options that you can consider. Now, I'm going to tell you options of how to approach and buy a ticket, and at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how I personally would approach this situation like I have in years past for the college football playoff. Also, I'll tell you what two other fans that went to the Alabama-LSU game back in 2011 had to say when they went to their game in New Orleans. Now, I've been to a very high-demand college football playoff national championship back when Alabama played Georgia in Atlanta, and it's a very similar situation with Georgia to Atlanta being the same distance as LSU is to New Orleans. So the cheapest prices I saw after the Peach Bowl were about $1,500. Now, I was talking to a couple LSU fans on the way back from being at the game, and their fans were extremely excited, and this is the highest the prices have been that I've seen so far, and I'm pretty sure the spike in prices were due to excitement of them winning. So they've steadily gone down until this point, which is January 7th, and they're somewhere around the $900 to $950 range. I just checked, and it's gone down about $40 today. Now, I could be wrong, but I would imagine they won't drop below $750. The prices might drop a couple more days, then rise again. It's very unpredictable, especially a game like this being so close to LSU. Now, they might drop a little bit here and there, but this game is very high demand, and especially for LSU. I know there's a little big game exhaustion for Clemson, but I wouldn't count on it dropping too much on the secondary markets. Even though it's too late for this option at this point, unless you've requested, I'm going to start this by saying the best way to buy tickets would be through the school. The college football playoff gives each school at least 45% of the tickets, so both these combined, it's at least 90% to the schools. It could be more. I'm just going off the top of my head right here. The face value is normally around 450 to 500 upper level, and maybe around 550 to 600 lower level. They normally give a deadline to request tickets for the college football playoff if the team makes it around late November. So, however, if you don't have season tickets with the school, and even in a lot of cases, if you don't have high priority season tickets, you're left to find it on the secondary markets. So, some important things to consider when buying these national championship tickets. One option, it's the obvious option, buying on the secondary market, like StubHub, Vivid Seats, etc. However, keep in mind that the price you see on the website, like StubHub, Vivid Seats, SeatGeek, these are going to charge you an additional charge on top of what you see originally. And the higher the price, the higher the service fee. So I pointed out a real-time example on the cover photo, my thumbnail. Now, the second option and another idea to look into are the fan groups for either LSU or Clemson for these tickets. I'll say Clemson does travel well, but they are starting to feel the big game exhaustion for ticket prices, so you might be able to see if anyone is selling for a more reasonable price on some of these group websites. And the third option is scalping a ticket. This is a high risk, high reward. High risk because you don't have a security blanket for 100% guaranteed refund. Money like, the secondary markets have. Now, it's high reward being you can sometimes save $250 to $500, maybe even more, depending on where your seat is and the price of your ticket. You can save a lot of money on service fees by scalping the day of the game. You just need to make sure you're careful when doing this. My recommendation is to have a scalper walk you through the gate and have the money in hand. Once they scan the ticket, you give them the money. So I know I'm Captain Obvious here, but you're going to need some cash. So anyway, scalpers might claim it's an inconvenient thing to walk you through the gate, and they'll try to convince you to just make the sale there. But personally, I suggest not doing that. I would have them walk me through the gate. Some scalpers might not agree to it, and who knows, it could have been a fake ticket. You just never know. So for every scalper that doesn't, another will walk you through the gate, or have someone working with them that will wait in line with you to make the sale. I've had this happen on numerous occasions. So this is the safe way to go, to have somebody walk you through. Now, another tip that could help save stress and hassle is to be aware that if you wait until the day of the game and you have not bought a ticket and buy it online, there's a point in time for some ticket options where, 2 or 3 hours or less, where you're unable to do the ticket transfer and have to go to a close by location near the stadium to pick up the tickets. I have to admit, I've never done this, and it would be a very stressful situation to try to do this, especially like an hour or two before the game, with tons of people coming in for the game and possibly bad cell phone service. Just be mindful that this can happen when waiting until the last minute for some secondary sites like StubHub. Okay, so my personal way of going about this would be, if I could get something around $150 to $200 below what the price is going for on the secondary markets through a Facebook group or message board or friend or acquaintance, I would just go ahead and buy it. Especially being a high demand game, the ticket prices won't tank too drastically. That being said, if you're unable to find a ticket or tickets through these groups and secondary price is too much, I personally would try to scalp the ticket and have them walk me through the gate. Now, I'd recommend getting to the gate around an hour and a half before the gates open to start looking for the scalper or some way to buy it. Now, I personally saved around $1,000 sitting lower level and scalping a ticket for the national championship a couple years back. I talked to 2 fans who went to the Alabama LSU national championship game back in 2011, technically 2012, and they said that they saved so much money by scalping a ticket. One told me he waited until about 15 minutes until kickoff, and he got a great deal. I know prices will drop closer you get to kick. Just depends on your personal preference, and if you'd like to have the convenience of not being rushed and get into the game at a decent time, you can go to the bathroom without lines, buy food and drinks without crazy lines. Also, being able to watch warm-ups before a big game like this might be worth an extra $100 to just get in there, get the whole experience instead of trying to save money, when you're already paying a lot. Hey, I hope this helped, and I hope I gave you some good options to use or think about. If you like this, please hit the like button. Also, it's free to subscribe. It would really help me out. I do a lot of tutorials and stuff, try to bring value to fans and spectators. And so if you like this, go ahead and subscribe. And I know this might be stressful trying to buy a ticket, so I just want to say good luck, and I hope everyone who's trying to buy a ticket gets one, and just try not to be too stressed out about it. Thanks again.